Small Steps, Big Impact. The Power of Consistent Action. Written by Ronnie Rowland. Published by Growth Literacy Lounge. Introduction. We live in a world obsessed with instant results. Everywhere we turn, we're bombarded with success stories that seem to happen overnight, businesses that skyrocket, people who transform their lives in a matter of weeks, and achievers who reach the pinnacle of their fields with what looks like little effort. It's no wonder so many of us fixate solely on the end results, unaware that those outcomes will never materialize without consistent effort. But behind every overnight success lies a reality that's rarely acknowledged: the unglamorous daily grind, the small steps that build momentum over time, and the disciplined habits that turn dreams into reality. These seemingly mundane actions are what truly shape our destinies. This book is not about shortcuts, quick fixes, or a magic formula for success. It's about embracing the power of consistency, the often overlooked but incredibly potent force that drives lasting results. The problem is that most people get stuck. They dream big but struggle to follow through. They crave quick wins but become discouraged when results don't show up immediately. They're motivated at the start, but when the initial excitement wears off, they lose steam. Does this sound familiar? If you've ever felt like you're spinning your wheels, making progress only to fall back into old patterns, or getting excited about a new goal but struggling to sustain it, then this book is for you. The solution lies not in doing more or working harder, but in mastering the art of showing up consistently, day in and day out, even when it feels like nothing's happening. In Small Steps, Big Impact, we're going to explore how small, deliberate actions, taken consistently, can create massive changes in your life. You'll discover how to reframe your thinking around progress, break free from the pressure of immediate results, and shift your focus from outcome to process. You'll learn how to build habits that stick, develop the patience to stay the course, and embrace the long game in a world that values instant gratification. This journey won't be flashy, but it will be transformational. Through stories, practical strategies, and actionable exercises, you'll see how consistency can be your superpower, no matter what goal you're pursuing. Whether you're looking to advance in your career, improve your health, strengthen relationships, or master a new skill, this book will provide you with the tools to stay the course and reach your destination, one small step at a time. The key to unlocking your potential isn't about doing everything perfectly, it's about doing the right things consistently. And as you'll discover, those small, steady actions create a compounding effect that leads to big results over time. It's time to stop chasing the quick fixes and start investing in the process. Because real success isn't about dramatic leaps, it's about the incremental progress that, when done with consistency, leads to extraordinary outcomes. We've noticed that 69% of you watching our videos haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Help us grow by hitting the subscribe button and giving this video a thumbs up. Thank you for inspiring us to keep creating content for you. I would love to hear your thoughts. How did this book resonate with you, and what insights or questions did it inspire? Chapter 1. The Myth of Overnight Success. The illusion we all fall for. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get swept up by the dazzling success stories we see on social media and in the headlines. A young entrepreneur launches a business and seemingly becomes a millionaire overnight. An influencer skyrockets to fame with one viral post. These stories are everywhere, and they feed into a dangerous illusion that success happens quickly, effortlessly, and without much struggle. But here's the truth that rarely gets told: what looks like overnight success is actually years, or even decades, of unseen work, consistent effort, and persistence. It's natural to want to see quick results, but when we focus solely on the outcome, we set ourselves up for frustration and disappointment. The reality is that success, in any form, is built on the foundation of small, consistent actions that compound over time. Let's take a closer look at one of these so-called overnight success stories. Consider the case of a best-selling author whose debut novel explodes in popularity. To the outside world, it seems like an instant hit. What people don't see are the countless hours of writing, the years of rejection letters, and the constant refining of the craft that took place behind the scenes. Success is often compared to an iceberg. What we see above the surface is just a small fraction of what lies beneath. The late nights, the missed social events, the repetitive daily actions that feel insignificant in the moment, all of these are what truly drive success. But because they're not flashy, they're rarely talked about. It's understandable why people get fixated on fast results. We're conditioned to seek instant gratification. From quick diets that promise to shed pounds in weeks to get rich quick schemes that guarantee wealth overnight, we're bombarded with shortcuts. The problem is that these shortcuts rarely deliver sustainable results. They may offer temporary gains, but they can't replace the power of consistent, long-term effort. When we constantly chase after fast results, we become discouraged when success doesn't happen right away. We start to question our abilities, and many people give up just when they're on the verge of a breakthrough. This mindset shift, learning to value the process over the outcome, is crucial to long-term success. So how do we shift our focus from quick wins to steady progress? It starts by embracing the process, even when it feels slow. Every small step you take, every consistent action you repeat, is a building block toward your goal. It's easy to overlook these small efforts because they don't provide immediate validation, but in reality they're the most important part of your journey. Consistency is about showing up, even on the days when you don't feel like it. It's about committing to the daily actions that align with your long-term vision, no matter how mundane they may seem. This is what separates those who achieve lasting success from those who burn out chasing the next big thing. The beauty of consistency lies in the compound effect. Just like financial investments grow exponentially over time with compound interest, small, consistent actions yield significant results when repeated over weeks, months, and years. Each action builds upon the last, creating a momentum that drives you forward. You may not notice the progress at first, but over time, the results become undeniable. In this book, we'll explore how you can apply this principle to every area of your life, whether it's building a successful career, improving your health, or achieving personal growth. By shifting your focus from the end goal to the daily process, you'll unlock the true power of consistent action. As you move through this book, you'll learn practical strategies for staying consistent, even when motivation fades. Remember, the goal is not to achieve instant success, but to build a foundation that leads to sustainable growth. By embracing the long game, you'll find that your small steps really do have a big impact. Chapter 2. The Science Behind Small, Daily Actions. When we think of success, we often imagine grand actions, big life-changing decisions that propel us forward. But the reality is much simpler and, in some ways, less glamorous. It's not the dramatic efforts that determine success, but rather the small, daily actions we take consistently over time. These seemingly mundane choices, repeated day in and day out, are what truly move the needle. But why do these small actions have such a profound impact? The answer lies in the science of habit formation, behavior change, and the psychology of consistency. Understanding the science behind these concepts will not only shed light on why consistent effort is so powerful but will also give you practical tools to apply it in your own life. At the heart of every consistent action is a habit. Habits are the brain's way of conserving energy by automating repetitive tasks. According to research by behavior scientist B.J. Fogg, habits are formed through a loop that consists of three components: cue, routine, and reward. 1. Cue. The trigger that initiates the habit, example, feeling stressed. 2. Routine. The action or behavior that follows, such as taking a walk. 3. Reward. The benefit you gain from the behavior, example, feeling relaxed. By understanding this loop, you can begin to engineer habits that align with your goals. For example, if your goal is to read more consistently, you can set a cue like making a cup of tea, follow it with the routine reading for 15 minutes, and reward yourself enjoying the satisfaction of completing a chapter. Over time, this loop becomes automatic, making it easier to sustain the habit without relying solely on willpower. Small wins build over time. One of the most powerful concepts behind consistent effort is the compound effect. The compound effect refers to the idea that small actions, when repeated consistently, create exponential growth over time. Imagine you start saving $5 every day. At first, it doesn't seem like much. But as the days turn into weeks and months, your savings grow, and eventually, you're sitting on a significant amount. The same principle applies to self-improvement. Whether it's learning a new skill, getting healthier, or advancing in your career, the results of small, daily actions accumulate over time, leading to big changes. The key is persistence, sticking with the process long enough for those small actions to compound. Many people make the mistake of diving into a new goal with intense effort, only to burn out quickly. While bursts of intensity can create short-term progress, they are rarely sustainable. On the other hand, small, manageable actions that you can do consistently will always outperform sporadic, intense efforts. For instance, imagine two people who want to get in shape. Person A works out intensely for 2 weeks but then quits. Person B exercises moderately 3 times a week for a year. Who do you think will be in better shape at the end of the year? Consistency wins every time. Studies show that forming habits based on small, achievable actions is far more effective than relying on bursts of motivation. The brain craves routine and thrives on predictability. When we break down big goals into tiny steps and repeat them consistently, we set ourselves up for long-term success. Rewiring your brain for consistency. Our brains are not static, they are constantly changing and adapting based on our behaviors. This concept is known as neuroplasticity. Every time you repeat a behavior, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with that action, making it easier to do next time. This is why habits become easier the more you practice them. Think of it like carving a path in the woods. The first time you walk through, it's difficult and unclear. But the more you tread that path, the more defined it becomes, eventually turning into a clear, smooth trail. The same happens in your brain. With consistent effort, actions that once required conscious effort become second nature. This means that by focusing on small, consistent actions, you can literally rewire your brain for success. As you build these habits, you also build the discipline and resilience needed to keep progressing, even when obstacles arise. Building consistency through science. Now that we've explored the science behind consistent action, let's look at how you can apply these principles in your daily life. 1. Start small and simple. Begin with habits that are so easy you can't fail. If you want to start meditating, begin with just 1 minute a day. As you build consistency, you can gradually increase the intensity. 2. Use cues to trigger your habits. Identify triggers in your environment that prompt your desired behavior. Pair a new habit with an existing routine, like doing push-ups right after brushing your teeth. 3. Focus on the process, not the results. Shift your mindset from obsessing over immediate outcomes to committing to daily actions. When you focus on the process, the results will follow. 4. Reward yourself for sticking to your habits, even in small ways. These rewards reinforce the behavior and keep you motivated to continue. Mastering the art of consistency. Understanding the science behind small, daily actions is key to mastering consistency. The more you align your habits with how your brain naturally works, the easier it becomes to sustain the effort needed for success. In the next chapter, we'll dive into how you can build a foundation for lasting consistency by defining your why and clarifying the purpose behind your goals. Chapter 3. Building a foundation. Defining your why. Consistency without purpose is like sailing a ship without a compass. You may move forward, but you're likely to drift aimlessly, unsure of where you're headed. This is why defining your why is so critical to success. Your why is the anchor that keeps you steady when challenges arise, motivation wanes, or progress seems slow. It's the deeper reason behind your goals, the driving force that pushes you to keep taking those small, consistent steps even when it feels tough. In this chapter, we'll explore how to uncover your personal why and how this clarity acts as the foundation for lasting consistency. Without a compelling reason to keep moving forward, even the best strategies and habits will eventually falter. Motivation is often romanticized as the fuel that powers success. We're told to stay motivated and find our inspiration, but anyone who has pursued a long-term goal knows that motivation is fleeting. It comes in waves. Some days you're fired up, ready to conquer the world, while other days you can barely get out of bed. When motivation dips, which it inevitably will, your why is what keeps you on track. They set goals based on superficial desires. I want to lose weight to look good, or I want to make more money. While there's nothing wrong with these goals, they often lack the emotional depth needed to sustain consistent action. A strong why goes beyond surface-level desires and taps into something more meaningful: self-improvement, health, freedom, security, legacy, or even love for others. Defining your why isn't always straightforward. It requires introspection and honesty. Here's a step-by-step process to help you dig deeper. 1. Start with the goal. Identify the goal you're aiming for. For example, I want to get healthier. 2. Ask why and keep asking. Once you have your goal, ask yourself why it matters. For instance, why do you want to get healthier? Your first answer might be, I want to feel better, but don't stop there. Ask again. Why do you want to feel better? You might respond, so I can have more energy. Ask again. Why do you need more energy? Perhaps your answer is, so I can keep up with my kids and be there for them as they grow. Now you're getting closer to your deeper why. It's not just about looking good or feeling better, it's about being present and engaged for the people you care about. 3. Your why should spark an emotional response. It should stir something within you that's powerful enough to keep you moving forward. When your why is tied to emotions like love, security, or personal growth, it becomes a force that's hard to ignore. 4. Once you've clarified your why, write it down and revisit it regularly. Make it a part of your routine, whether that's reading it each morning or reflecting on it during tough moments. This practice reinforces your commitment and keeps your purpose top of mind. Your values are closely tied to your why. They represent what you stand for and what you prioritize in life. When your actions align with your core values, consistency becomes more natural. For example, if one of your values is health, taking daily steps toward better nutrition and exercise isn't just a chore, it's an expression of what matters most to you. Take a moment to reflect on your own values. What principles guide your decisions? What do you care about most? By aligning your goals and habits with your values, you create a strong foundation for consistency that's built on authenticity and purpose. Even with a clear why, there will be times when the path gets rough. Stress, setbacks, and life's inevitable challenges can make it hard to stay consistent. During these moments, revisiting your why becomes essential. It reminds you of the bigger picture and helps you push through temporary discomfort in pursuit of long-term fulfillment. One practical strategy is to create a why statement that you can refer to when things get tough. For example, I am committed to my health because I want to be a strong, positive presence for my family. Even when it's difficult, I choose to stay consistent because they deserve the best version of me. This statement isn't just a reminder of your goals, it's a call to action rooted in something deeply meaningful. When you know your why, you become resilient. The inevitable obstacles and distractions that arise lose their power because your actions are driven by purpose. You're no longer relying on motivation alone, you're fueled by a deeper sense of direction and commitment. Throughout the rest of this book, your why will serve as the foundation for everything you do. Whether you're building new habits, overcoming setbacks, or tracking progress, having a strong why will keep you focused and consistent. Now that you've identified your why, you're ready to build on this foundation with consistent action. In the next chapter, we'll dive into how to create micro habits that stick, small, manageable steps that will set you up for success and keep you moving steadily toward your goals. Chapter 4. Creating micro habits that stick. In a culture that glorifies grand gestures and massive goals, it's easy to overlook the significance of small actions. Yet, when it comes to consistency, small is powerful. Micro habits, tiny, manageable actions that are so easy you can't fail, are the building blocks of lasting change. When you master these micro habits, you set yourself up for consistent progress without relying on willpower alone. In this chapter, we're going to explore how to identify, design, and integrate micro habits that stick. By focusing on these small, seemingly insignificant actions, you can create a momentum that carries you toward your bigger goals with less resistance. Imagine setting a goal to read more books. Most people might start with a resolution like I'll read 1 book per week. While this sounds ambitious, it can quickly become overwhelming, especially when life gets busy. But what if you committed to reading just 2 pages a day? It's a tiny action, something you could do even on your busiest days. It's so small that it hardly feels like a challenge. Yet, by the end of the year, you could have read more than 10 books just by sticking to this micro habit. This is the essence of why micro habits work. When you aim for small wins, you remove the barriers that often derail progress, like lack of time, motivation, or energy. Small actions are sustainable because they integrate smoothly into your daily routine without causing friction. Micro habits are effective because they tap into how our brains are wired. According to behavior scientist B.J. Fogg, successful habit formation is based on 3 key factors: ability, motivation, and trigger. Here's how micro habits align with these principles. 1. The easier a habit is, the more likely you are to do it. Micro habits require minimal effort, making them accessible even on low-energy days. 2. Motivation. Motivation fluctuates, but when a habit is small, you don't need much motivation to complete it. You might not feel like exercising for 30 minutes, but doing just 5 minutes is much easier to start. 3. Micro habits are easier to sustain when paired with a specific trigger, like doing 10 push-ups right after brushing your teeth or writing a gratitude note after pouring your morning coffee. The trigger becomes a cue that signals it's time for your micro habit. By aligning with these factors, micro habits create a foundation for consistency that is virtually fail-proof. How to design your micro habits. Designing effective micro habits is both an art and a science. Here's a step-by-step guide to creating micro habits that stick. 1. The key to micro habits is making them so small that they're impossible to fail. For instance, if your goal is to build a daily meditation practice, don't start with 10 minutes, start with 1 minute. If you want to write more, start with just 1 sentence per day. 2. Triggers are actions or events that cue your habit. These can be based on time, every day at 7 a.m., an existing routine like, after I brush my teeth, or a specific location like, when I sit at my desk. The more specific the trigger, the easier it is to stick with your habit. 3. The goal is to build the habit, not push your limits. Consistency is far more important than how much you do in the beginning. Once the habit is ingrained, you can gradually increase the intensity. 4. Tracking your progress can be as simple as checking off each day you complete your micro habit. Celebrating small wins reinforces the behavior and makes it more enjoyable. Even something as simple as telling yourself, "Good job," after completing the habit can create positive reinforcement. 5. Life happens, and even the best designed micro habits might need tweaking. If you find that a habit isn't sticking, make it even smaller or change the trigger. The key is to stay flexible and persistent. One of the most surprising benefits of micro habits is how they create a ripple effect in other areas of your life. For example, committing to just 5 minutes of stretching each morning might inspire you to make healthier choices throughout the day. The confidence you build from consistently completing small actions often spills over into bigger challenges, gradually increasing your capacity for taking on more. This is the magic of micro habits. They may start small, but they have the power to transform your life over time. As you stack these small wins, you'll notice that consistency becomes easier and progress more visible. You'll begin to trust in the process and realize that real change doesn't come from grand gestures, but from showing up daily, no matter how small the effort. Remember the compound effect we discussed in the previous chapter? Micro habits are its perfect application. Each small action you take compounds over time, eventually leading to significant outcomes. It's like planting a seed, you water it daily, even though you don't see immediate growth, but eventually, the plant breaks through the soil and flourishes. The consistent effort you invest in your micro habits will lead to visible, meaningful progress in ways that might surprise you. As you move forward in your journey toward consistent action, micro habits will be your foundation. By making small steps a part of your daily routine, you create an environment where consistency thrives. In the next chapter, we'll address how to overcome the inevitable obstacles that threaten your consistency and how to stay on track when motivation fades. Chapter 5. The Power of Incremental Progress. In a society that celebrates big wins and instant success, it's easy to overlook the importance of incremental progress. We tend to measure our achievements by the magnitude of the results, forgetting that those results are often the culmination of small steps taken consistently over time. Incremental progress might seem slow, but it's this steady, continuous effort that ultimately leads to sustainable success. The core principle here is simple: progress is progress, no matter how small. It's easy to become disheartened when the changes you're making feel insignificant, but those small gains compound over time, leading to big results. Understanding the value of 1% better every day. You've probably heard the phrase, "get 1% better every day." While it may sound like a cliché, it's rooted in a powerful concept. The idea is that by focusing on small, manageable improvements each day, you create a snowball effect of growth. Let's put this into perspective. If you improve by just 1% every day for a year, you end up 37 times better than when you started. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect every day, but it highlights the exponential impact of small, consistent gains. It's about doing just a little better than you did yesterday. One more push-up, one more paragraph written, one healthier meal choice. These micro improvements add up over time and lead to dramatic transformations. Incremental progress thrives on the compound growth effect. Think of compound interest in the world of finance. You earn interest not just on your initial investment but on the accumulated interest over time. Similarly, when you make small improvements consistently, each gain builds on the last. This creates a ripple effect, amplifying your results over the long term. Consider an athlete training for a marathon. They don't start by running 26 miles, they begin with small distances, gradually increasing their endurance. Each run builds on the previous one, creating a foundation that eventually makes completing the marathon possible. The same principle applies to any goal, whether you're learning a new skill, improving your health, or building a career. One of the biggest barriers to incremental progress is the all-or-nothing mindset. This mindset tells us that if we can't achieve something in a big, impressive way, it's not worth doing at all. But this approach often leads to burnout and disappointment because it's impossible to sustain high-intensity effort over long periods. Incremental progress challenges this mindset by focusing on the long game. Instead of pushing for perfection, you aim for consistency. Instead of making massive leaps, you focus on small, manageable steps. This shift in perspective helps you maintain momentum, even when life gets busy or motivation dips. Remember, the goal is not to do everything perfectly but to keep moving forward, even if it's just by a little each day. Measuring incremental progress requires a mindset shift. Instead of only focusing on the big milestones, you need to learn how to track and celebrate the smaller wins along the way. Here are a few strategies. 1. Break down your larger goals into smaller, bite-sized objectives. For example, if your goal is to write a book, set a micro goal to write 200 words a day. These micro goals make the overall goal feel more achievable and allow you to celebrate small victories regularly. 2. Use a habit tracker or journal to log your daily or weekly progress. Whether it's minutes spent exercising, pages read, or tasks completed, seeing consistent growth over time is incredibly motivating. 3. Even if you miss a day or don't hit your target perfectly, focus on the overall trend. Are you moving in the right direction? Perfection isn't the goal, progress is. 4. Take time each week or month to reflect on how far you've come. Look at where you started and the incremental steps that have led you to your current position. This reflection helps you appreciate the journey and reinforces the value of consistent effort. Patience is essential when embracing incremental progress. We live in a world that prizes quick results, but real, meaningful change takes time. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results, but this is where patience and trust in the process come into play. Think of incremental progress like planting a tree. You water it daily, even though you don't see immediate growth. Over time, the roots take hold, and eventually the tree grows tall and strong. The daily watering, your consistent effort makes all the difference, even when you can't see it. Trust that your efforts are laying the foundation for future success, even if the results aren't visible yet. Acknowledging small wins is crucial to maintaining motivation. These small victories act as milestones that keep you engaged and remind you that progress is happening. It could be as simple as completing a week of daily exercise or sticking to a new habit for 30 days. Celebrating these wins, no matter how minor they seem, creates positive reinforcement and builds momentum. One strategy is to create a rewards system. For example, if you complete your daily micro habit for 30 days, treat yourself to something special, a dinner out, a new book, or a weekend getaway. The reward doesn't have to be extravagant, but it should feel meaningful enough to motivate you to keep going. Incremental progress is about embracing the journey and understanding that small steps, taken consistently, lead to big results. Success isn't built overnight, it's built in layers, with each small action adding up over time. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to stay consistent when motivation fades and life gets in the way. You'll learn practical strategies for overcoming obstacles and staying on track, no matter what challenges arise. Chapter 6. Overcoming Obstacles and Staying Consistent. The reality of setbacks. Even with the best intentions and a strong why, everyone faces obstacles that can disrupt consistency. Life happens, unexpected responsibilities, fatigue, stress, and moments of doubt can all interfere with our ability to stay on track. The key to success isn't avoiding these challenges but knowing how to navigate them when they arise. In this chapter, we'll explore how to overcome common obstacles that threaten your consistency and how to stay committed even when motivation fades. Before we dive into strategies, it's important to understand why consistency often breaks down. There are several common reasons why people struggle to maintain their habits. 1. Setting goals that are too ambitious can lead to burnout and frustration. When you try to make massive changes all at once, it's easy to become overwhelmed and give up. 2. Willpower is like a battery, it drains over time. If you're relying solely on willpower to maintain consistency, you're setting yourself up for failure. Habits need to be designed in a way that they become automatic, requiring minimal effort to sustain. 3. Many people fall into the trap of thinking that if they can't do something perfectly, they shouldn't do it at all. This mindset leads to inconsistency because minor setbacks are seen as complete failures. 4. Unexpected events, changes in routine, or even shifts in your personal or professional life can throw you off course. When life gets hectic, it's easy to let habits slip. Embracing imperfection. Progress over perfection. One of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make is to embrace imperfection. Consistency doesn't mean being perfect, it means showing up even when things aren't ideal. Progress is not about doing everything right all the time, it's about doing what you can, with what you have, where you are. Here's the truth: setbacks are inevitable. You will miss days, encounter distractions, and face moments when you're tempted to quit. But these moments don't define your progress. What matters is how you respond to them. When you allow room for imperfection, you give yourself the grace to continue moving forward instead of getting stuck in guilt or frustration. Strategies for staying consistent when life gets tough. 1. One of the most effective ways to stay consistent is to anticipate challenges before they happen. Think about the potential obstacles that could arise: busy schedules, travel, fatigue, and create a plan for how you'll stay on track when these situations occur. For example, if you know you're likely to skip your workout when you're tired, commit to doing just 5 minutes of exercise instead of your full routine. By lowering the bar, you maintain momentum without relying on motivation. 2. Rigid routines often collapse when life gets in the way. Instead of locking yourself into a strict plan, create flexible routines that can adapt to changing circumstances. For example, if your goal is to meditate every morning but your schedule doesn't allow it, practice meditation at a different time of day. The key is to focus on consistency, not the specific timing or duration. 3. When you miss a day or fall off track, it's easy to feel like you've failed. But one missed day doesn't erase your progress. The important thing is how quickly you can get back on track. Develop a strategy for bouncing back after a setback. This could be as simple as revisiting your why, reviewing your goals, or getting back to your micro habits. The quicker you can recover from a slip-up, the less impact it has on your overall progress. 4. Having someone to hold you accountable can be a game changer when motivation dips. This could be a friend, coach, or accountability group. Share your goals with them and ask them to check in regularly. Knowing someone else is watching your progress can motivate you to stay consistent, even on tough days. 5. Trying to tackle too many habits at once is a recipe for inconsistency. Instead, focus on building one habit at a time. Once that habit is ingrained, you can layer in additional habits. This gradual approach makes it easier to stay consistent because you're not spreading your energy too thin. When setbacks occur, it's easy to fall into a cycle of self-criticism. We tell ourselves that we're not disciplined enough or that we've failed again. But self-compassion is crucial for staying consistent. Research shows that people who are kind to themselves after a setback are more likely to bounce back and continue making progress. Instead of beating yourself up, practice self-compassion by reminding yourself that everyone struggles with consistency. Focus on what you've done well and how far you've come rather than dwelling on mistakes. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend who's facing a challenge. Building resilience through consistency. Consistency is more than just a pathway to success, it's a way to build resilience. Each time you push through a challenge, overcome an obstacle, or show up when you don't feel like it, you strengthen your resilience muscle. Resilience isn't about avoiding difficulties, it's about developing the grit to keep going in the face of adversity. Think of each setback as an opportunity to practice resilience. Every time you get back on track after a slip-up, you're proving to yourself that you have the strength to stay the course. This resilience becomes a powerful asset, not just for achieving your goals but for navigating life's challenges as a whole. Staying consistent isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Obstacles will come, motivation will fade, and life will get in the way. But by embracing imperfection, planning for setbacks, and focusing on progress over perfection, you can maintain momentum even when things get tough. In the next chapter, we'll explore how accountability and support systems can keep you on track and enhance your consistency, even in the most challenging times. Chapter 7. Accountability and Support Systems. There's a common belief that achieving success is a solo journey, a test of individual willpower and discipline. While self-motivation is essential, the truth is that most people don't reach their goals entirely on their own. Behind every successful person is a network of support, encouragement, and accountability. In this chapter, we'll explore how leveraging accountability and building strong support systems can dramatically increase your ability to stay consistent, even when the going gets tough. No matter how determined you are, there will be days when motivation is low, distractions are high, and excuses start creeping in. This is where accountability and community come into play. When you have someone else invested in your progress, the stakes are higher, and the likelihood of staying on track increases significantly. Humans are social beings, and our behaviors are heavily influenced by the expectations and encouragement of others. The psychology behind accountability is rooted in two key factors. 1. When someone else is aware of your goals and expects you to follow through, you're more likely to stay committed. The fear of disappointing others or failing in front of them can be a powerful motivator. 2. Positive reinforcement. On the flip side, having someone recognize your efforts and celebrate your progress boosts motivation. Positive reinforcement from others creates a sense of achievement, making it easier to maintain consistency. By understanding how these factors influence behavior, you can strategically build accountability into your routine to help you stay on track, even when internal motivation is lacking. Finding what works for you. Not all forms of accountability are created equal, and what works for one person might not work for another. Here are a few types of accountability systems you can explore. 1. This is one of the most effective methods. An accountability partner is someone who shares similar goals or is invested in your progress. You regularly check in with each other, discuss progress, and provide support. This could be a friend, family member, or colleague. The key is finding someone who is reliable, encouraging, and willing to hold you accountable when you slip up. 2. Sometimes, a group setting provides the added motivation and support needed to stay consistent. Whether it's a mastermind group, a fitness class, or an online community, being part of a group with shared goals can keep you motivated. The collective energy and shared experiences create a sense of camaraderie that makes the journey less lonely. 3. A coach or mentor offers a more structured form of accountability. They provide expert guidance, help you set realistic goals, and hold you accountable to the actions required to achieve them. Coaches often use data, progress tracking, and regular check-ins to ensure you're staying on course. 4. Making your goals public can add a layer of pressure that drives consistency. Whether it's posting your progress on social media, sharing your goals with colleagues, or committing to a challenge publicly, the fear of letting others down can be a strong motivator. However, this approach works best for people who are comfortable with external scrutiny. In addition to accountability, having a strong support system is crucial for maintaining consistency. Your support system includes people who encourage you, cheer you on, and help you overcome obstacles. Here's how to cultivate a supportive environment. 1. Look for people in your life who genuinely want to see you succeed. This could be friends, family, or colleagues who believe in your goals and are willing to offer encouragement and advice. 2. Be open about your objectives and share your journey with those in your support system. Let them know how they can help, whether it's by offering feedback, providing resources, or simply checking in regularly. 3. Reciprocate support. Support is a two-way street. Be willing to offer help and encouragement to others in your network. By fostering mutual support, you create a positive environment where everyone is motivated to stay consistent. 4. Create a routine around your support system. Schedule regular check-ins, progress updates, or group meetings. Consistent communication keeps the momentum going and ensures that you don't lose sight of your goals. The key to effective accountability is consistency in how you engage with it. Here's how to integrate accountability into your routine. 1. When working with an accountability partner, group, or coach, be specific about your goals, timelines, and what you expect from the relationship. Clarity ensures that everyone is on the same page and knows what success looks like. 2. Consistent check-ins are the backbone of accountability. Whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly, having a set time to review your progress keeps you focused and motivated. Make these check-ins non-negotiable. 3. Accountability only works if you're truthful. If you've fallen off track, don't hide it, discuss it with your accountability partner or group. The purpose of accountability is not to shame you but to help you get back on track. 4. Acknowledge and celebrate the milestones you achieve. This not only boosts your own morale but also strengthens the bond within your support system. Celebrating small wins reinforces the habit of consistency. There's a powerful element of peer pressure and accountability. When you see others pushing through challenges and staying consistent, it motivates you to do the same. Surrounding yourself with people who are committed to growth, discipline, and consistency creates an environment where these qualities become contagious. Positive peer pressure works because it taps into our natural desire to belong and be accepted by those we respect. When you're part of a group where consistency is the norm, you're more likely to adopt those behaviors yourself. This is why being selective about the people you include in your support system is so important. The strength of community and consistency. You don't have to go it alone. Leveraging accountability and building a strong support system can be the difference between giving up when things get tough and pushing through to success. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to cultivate patience and resilience, two qualities that are essential for staying consistent over the long haul. Chapter 8. The role of patience and consistency. In a world of instant gratification, patience has become a rare and underrated quality. We're conditioned to want everything fast, quick results, rapid progress, and immediate rewards. But the pursuit of speed often leads to burnout, frustration, and ultimately giving up. Real, lasting success requires a different mindset, one that embraces patience as a superpower. Patience allows you to trust the process, even when progress is slow. It's the ability to keep going, day after day, without seeing immediate results, knowing that consistency will eventually pay off. In this chapter, we'll explore how patience plays a critical role in sustaining consistent action, and how cultivating this mindset can lead to long-term success. The problem with impatience. Impatience is one of the biggest obstacles to consistency. When we don't see immediate results, it's easy to become discouraged and question whether our efforts are worth it. This impatience often leads to one of two outcomes. Either we abandon our goals entirely, or we constantly switch strategies in search of a quicker solution. Both of these behaviors disrupt consistency and undermine long-term progress. The truth is, most meaningful goals take time to achieve. Whether you're building a business, improving your health, or learning a new skill, the early stages are often marked by slow progress. It's during this phase that patience is crucial. Instead of chasing quick wins, you need to stay committed to the small, consistent actions that will eventually lead to the breakthroughs you're aiming for. Patience is about trusting the process, even when results aren't immediately visible. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't see growth right away. You water the soil, nurture it daily, and wait. Over time, roots form, and eventually the seed breaks through the soil and begins to grow. Your consistent actions are like watering the seed. Even when you can't see progress, things are happening beneath the surface that will lead to visible results later on. Trusting the process requires faith in your efforts and a willingness to delay gratification. When you embrace this mindset, you free yourself from the pressure of immediate results and can focus on enjoying the journey. This shift in perspective makes it easier to stay consistent because you're no longer obsessed with instant outcomes, you're committed to the long game. 1. Redefine progress. One of the keys to patience is redefining what progress looks like. Instead of measuring success solely by outcomes, focus on the actions you take consistently. Did you show up today? Did you complete your micro-habit? These small actions are victories in themselves. When you learn to celebrate effort rather than only results, you become more patient with the process. 2. Delayed gratification is the ability to resist the temptation of immediate rewards in favor of long-term goals. It's a skill that can be developed over time. Start by setting small challenges that require you to wait for a reward. For example, delay checking your phone for an hour or postpone a treat until you've completed a task. These exercises train your brain to tolerate waiting and build the patience needed for consistency. 3. When you're feeling impatient, take a step back and remind yourself of the bigger picture. Why did you start this journey? What long-term benefits are you working toward? By keeping your eyes on the ultimate goal, you're less likely to get frustrated by temporary delays. 4. We often glorify rapid transformations, but slow growth is more sustainable and lasting. Quick fixes rarely lead to enduring change. When you embrace slow growth, you allow yourself the time needed to build strong foundations and develop habits that stick. Remember, the tortoise wins the race not because it's fast, but because it's steady. Patience isn't just about waiting, it's about maintaining a calm and consistent effort over time. When you're patient, you're less likely to make impulsive decisions or abandon your goals in frustration. This steadiness creates a ripple effect in other areas of your life. You become more resilient in the face of challenges, more disciplined in your daily actions, and more confident in your ability to achieve long-term success. Patience also affects how you handle setbacks. Instead of seeing obstacles as failures, you view them as part of the journey. When you're patient, you're more likely to learn from mistakes and course correct, rather than giving up. This mindset not only improves your consistency but also enhances your overall sense of well-being. Some of the most inspiring success stories are rooted in patience and persistence. Consider athletes who train for years before reaching their peak performance, entrepreneurs who endure multiple failures before finding success, or artists who spend decades perfecting their craft. What these stories have in common is a commitment to long-term growth and an understanding that true mastery takes time. When you study these stories, you'll notice that the common thread isn't extraordinary talent or luck, it's patience. These individuals stayed the course, even when the journey was long and progress seemed slow. Their success was built on the foundation of consistent, patient effort. Impatience is often fueled by comparison. When you see others achieving results faster than you, it's easy to feel like you're falling behind. But comparison is the thief of joy and of consistency. Everyone's journey is different, and the speed of your progress doesn't determine your worth or potential. By focusing on your own path and resisting the urge to compare, you can cultivate the patience needed to achieve your goals. Remember, success isn't a race. It's about staying true to your journey, no matter how long it takes. Patience allows you to progress at your own pace, without being swayed by external pressures or unrealistic expectations. Patience is the fuel for consistency. Patience isn't passive, it's a powerful force that sustains consistent action. When you trust the process, focus on effort over results, and embrace slow growth, you set yourself up for long-term success. In the next chapter, we'll dive into how to track your progress and celebrate milestones, key elements in maintaining consistency and staying motivated on your journey. Chapter 9. Tracking progress and celebrating milestones. The importance of measuring your journey. In the pursuit of long-term goals, it's easy to get lost in the process and forget to evaluate how far you've come. Tracking progress is more than just a motivational tool, it's a key component of staying consistent. When you actively monitor your efforts and celebrate small wins, you reinforce the behaviors that lead to success. This chapter focuses on the practical strategies for tracking your progress, celebrating milestones, and staying motivated along the way. One of the biggest mistakes people make is focusing solely on the end goal. While having a clear objective is crucial, what truly keeps you on track are the smaller victories and consistent steps you take. Celebrating these wins isn't just about feeling good, it's about building momentum that drives you forward. Tracking your progress does two essential things. It keeps you accountable and gives you feedback on what's working and what needs adjustment. Here's why it's so powerful. 1. When you track your actions, you get a clear picture of how much progress you're making, even if it's incremental. This visibility helps you see that your consistent efforts are adding up over time. 2. Seeing tangible results, no matter how small, is a powerful motivator. It reminds you that your work is paying off and keeps you committed to the process. 3. Tracking provides real-time data that allows you to adjust your approach as needed. If something isn't working, you can tweak it before you stray too far off course. 4. Knowing that you're recording your progress adds an extra layer of responsibility. Whether you're tracking it privately or sharing it with an accountability partner, this awareness pushes you to stay consistent. There are several methods for tracking progress, and the key is finding one that works best for you. Here are some approaches you can consider. 1. Habit trackers. Habit trackers are simple tools that allow you to mark off each day you complete a specific habit. They can be as basic as a calendar where you cross off days or more advanced, like a dedicated habit tracking app. The visual satisfaction of seeing your streaks grow can be highly motivating. 2. Journaling is an effective way to reflect on your progress while also tracking it. At the end of each day or week, write down what you accomplished, what challenges you faced, and how you felt about your progress. This practice not only tracks your actions but also helps you identify patterns and areas for improvement. 3. Break your larger goals into smaller, more manageable milestones. For example, if your goal is to write a book, set milestones like completing the outline, writing the first chapter, and so on. Tracking progress toward these milestones keeps you focused on immediate targets while building toward the bigger goal. 4. Set aside time each week or month to review your progress. Evaluate what's working, where you struggled, and what adjustments you need to make. This regular check-in keeps your efforts aligned with your goals and gives you a chance to celebrate your wins. One of the most underrated aspects of consistency is celebrating small victories. These moments of celebration aren't just about giving yourself a pat on the back, they're crucial for reinforcing the behavior you want to sustain. Here's why celebrating small wins is so effective. 1. Celebrating even the smallest success signals to your brain that the behavior is rewarding, which increases the likelihood of repeating it. This positive reinforcement builds momentum and strengthens your habits. 2. Each time you achieve a milestone, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you're capable of progress. This confidence carries over into other areas, making it easier to tackle bigger challenges. 3. Motivation naturally ebbs and flows, but celebrating wins injects energy into your journey. These moments of recognition remind you why you started and keep you excited about the road ahead. 4. Creating emotional anchors. Celebrations create positive emotional associations with your progress. When you look back on your journey, these moments stand out and remind you that your consistent actions are leading somewhere meaningful. Celebrating doesn't have to be extravagant, but it should feel meaningful. Here are some ideas for celebrating your milestones. 1. Set up a reward system tied to your progress. For example, after completing a month of consistent workouts, treat yourself to a new fitness accessory. Rewards don't have to be material, they could be an experience, like taking a day off to relax or spending time on a hobby you enjoy. 2. Sharing your success with friends, family, or your accountability group can amplify the celebration. Their encouragement and recognition make the moment more impactful. 3. Develop a personal ritual for marking your achievements. It could be as simple as taking a moment to reflect, lighting a candle, or enjoying a favorite treat. The ritual itself becomes part of your motivation. 4. Document your progress. Take photos, write journal entries, or keep a visual timeline of your progress. Looking back on these records not only reminds you of how far you've come but also inspires you to keep pushing forward. While celebrating is important, it's also essential to stay grounded. The purpose of celebration is to acknowledge your efforts, not to become complacent. Once you've marked a milestone, it's time to refocus and continue building on that momentum. Balance your celebrations with a mindset of continuous growth. Recognize how far you've come while staying committed to where you're going. Tracking and celebrating your progress aren't just feel-good activities, they're critical strategies for maintaining consistency. When you measure your journey and take time to appreciate your wins, you reinforce the habits that lead to success. In the next chapter, we'll discuss how consistency in one area of life can create a positive ripple effect in other areas, leading to holistic growth and fulfillment. Chapter 10. The Ripple Effect. How consistency impacts every area of life. When people commit to consistency, they often do so with one specific goal in mind: to improve in a particular area, such as health, career, or personal development. However, one of the most powerful aspects of consistent action is that it rarely stays confined to one part of your life. Like ripples on water, the benefits of consistency expand outward, creating positive changes across multiple areas. In this chapter, we'll explore how focusing on consistency in one domain can lead to unexpected improvements in other areas of your life, transforming not just your habits but your mindset, relationships, and overall well-being. Consistency has a way of compounding. Small, repeated actions generate momentum, and that momentum naturally spills over into other aspects of your life. For example, let's say you commit to a daily exercise routine. At first, the obvious benefits are physical, improved strength, stamina, and energy levels. But soon, you notice other changes: better focus at work, improved mood, more patience in your relationships, and a boost in self-confidence. This ripple effect occurs because consistency fosters positive habits that transcend their original purpose. The discipline you develop by sticking to a fitness routine can be applied to other goals, whether that's managing your finances, nurturing relationships, or pursuing personal growth. Consistency teaches you how to show up, even when you don't feel like it, and this lesson can be applied across all areas of life. One of the most significant ripple effects of consistency is the mindset shift it creates. When you commit to consistent action, you start to see yourself differently. You begin to view yourself as someone who follows through, who is capable of change, and who takes control of their life. This shift in identity is transformative. As your mindset evolves, so do your actions. You become more confident, resilient, and proactive. You stop waiting for motivation to strike and start taking control of your habits. This proactive attitude extends into other areas, allowing you to approach challenges with a growth mindset. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, you begin to see them as opportunities to apply the discipline and persistence you've cultivated. Every time you follow through on a commitment, no matter how small, you reinforce the belief that you can achieve your goals. This builds confidence and creates a positive feedback loop. Confidence isn't just about feeling good, it's about believing in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. When you consistently take action, you prove to yourself that you are capable of progress, which leads to even greater consistency. This newfound confidence can transform how you approach other areas of life. You may start to take on challenges you once avoided, speak up more in relationships or work settings, or pursue goals that seemed out of reach. Consistency creates a solid foundation of self-trust, which gives you the courage to stretch beyond your comfort zone. Consistency doesn't just affect your personal growth, it also impacts the people around you. When you're consistent in your actions, you become more reliable and trustworthy, which strengthens your relationships. Whether it's following through on commitments to family, being dependable at work, or showing up for friends, your consistency makes others feel valued and supported. Moreover, as you improve your habits and mindset, you naturally become a source of inspiration for others. Your dedication can motivate those around you to adopt better habits or pursue their own goals. This ripple effect creates a positive environment where growth and improvement are encouraged, not just for you but for everyone in your circle. When you maintain consistency in one healthy habit, like exercising or eating well, the benefits are often holistic. Improved physical health leads to better mental clarity, enhanced mood, and increased energy. These benefits, in turn, make it easier to stay consistent in other areas, creating a reinforcing cycle of well-being. For example, when you consistently prioritize sleep, you're likely to notice better focus, a calmer mindset, and more stable emotions. This improved mental state makes it easier to stick to other habits, like healthy eating or exercising regularly. Each positive habit reinforces another, creating an upward spiral of health and wellness. Another area where consistency creates ripple effects is financial health. When you consistently manage your budget, save regularly, and avoid impulsive spending, you build financial stability over time. This stability reduces stress, increases opportunities for growth, and allows you to focus on long-term financial goals. Moreover, the discipline you cultivate in managing your finances can be applied to other areas, like sticking to a routine or completing a long-term project. The principles of consistency, planning, discipline, and persistence are universal, and once you've mastered them in one area, they can be transferred to others with ease. Keystone habits are those foundational habits that, when established, trigger positive behaviors in other areas. Consistency itself is a keystone habit. Once you make it a part of your identity, it influences everything else you do. Whether it's sticking to a routine, showing up for yourself, or following through on commitments, consistency is the thread that ties all your efforts together and ensures you keep progressing, no matter what life throws your way. The impact of consistency goes far beyond the immediate goal you're working on. Like ripples in a pond, consistent action spreads its influence across every aspect of your life, enhancing your mindset, relationships, health, and financial well-being. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to sustain this momentum over time and avoid burnout. ensuring that your consistent efforts lead to lasting change and fulfillment. Chapter 11. The Long Game. Sustaining consistency over time. Consistency is a marathon, not a sprint. When people start a new goal or habit, the initial excitement often drives strong, enthusiastic efforts. But as time goes on, the novelty wears off, and maintaining that same level of motivation becomes a challenge. The reality is that consistency isn't about intense bursts of effort, it's about sustaining steady, manageable progress over time. Success comes not from sprinting to the finish line but from committing to the long game. In this chapter, we'll dive into the strategies you need to maintain consistency for the long haul. Whether you're pursuing a fitness routine, building a business, or working on personal growth, it's essential to develop a mindset and approach that prevent burnout and keep you moving forward, even when motivation fades. The biggest challenge with long-term consistency is staying engaged when progress feels slow or stagnant. At the beginning of any journey, the initial results often come quickly, and the progress is easy to see. But as you continue, improvements may slow down, and it becomes harder to notice the gains. This is when many people lose focus, become frustrated, or even give up altogether. To overcome this challenge, it's crucial to shift your perspective. Instead of focusing solely on short-term results, you need to develop a mindset that values steady, incremental progress. The real rewards come not from instant success, but from the cumulative effect of sustained effort over time. One powerful way to approach long-term consistency is to think in terms of seasons. Just like nature goes through cycles, your life will go through periods of high energy, growth, rest, and reflection. Embracing these seasons allows you to honor your natural rhythms without feeling like you're falling behind. 1. Growth season. This is when you're in full swing, setting ambitious goals, pushing yourself, and making significant progress. It's a time of high energy and focus. 2. Maintenance season. During this period, the focus shifts to maintaining the gains you've made without overextending yourself. You might reduce the intensity of your efforts, but stay consistent with the habits you've built. 3. Rest and reflection season. Rest is not a sign of weakness, it's essential for long-term consistency. In this season, you step back, allow yourself to recharge, and reflect on your progress. This period of rest prevents burnout and prepares you for your next growth phase. By recognizing these seasons and adjusting your expectations accordingly, you create a sustainable approach to consistency. You're not pushing yourself to the brink of exhaustion. Instead, you're working with your natural cycles to maintain progress over the long term. Burnout is one of the biggest threats to long-term consistency. When you push too hard for too long without taking breaks, you risk depleting your energy, motivation, and enthusiasm. To prevent burnout, it's important to build in rest, recovery, and moments of joy. Here are some strategies. 1. Consistency isn't about taking on everything at once. Break your goals into bite-sized, manageable steps and space them out over time. This steady approach prevents the burnout that often comes from trying to tackle too much, too fast. 2. Schedule regular breaks. Just as you would schedule work sessions, schedule breaks and downtime. Whether it's a day off each week, a mini vacation, or simply an afternoon to relax, these breaks give you the mental and physical rest needed to stay committed. 3. Consistency shouldn't feel like a grind. Find ways to make your routines enjoyable and rewarding. Whether it's listening to your favorite music while working out or treating yourself after a productive day, adding moments of joy keeps the process fun and sustainable. 4. Pay attention to signs of burnout, such as fatigue, irritability, or a lack of enthusiasm. If you notice these signs, it's time to step back, reassess, and give yourself permission to rest. Sustaining consistency over time requires resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to changing circumstances, and keep going even when things get tough. Here's how to build the resilience needed for long-term consistency. 1. Setbacks are inevitable. Instead of viewing them as failures, see them as learning opportunities. What can you adjust? What did you learn? By reframing setbacks as part of the journey, you maintain a growth mindset that keeps you moving forward. 2. Life is unpredictable, and rigid plans often break under pressure. Build flexibility into your routines so that you can adapt when unexpected challenges arise. Whether it's adjusting your schedule, modifying your approach, or changing your goals, staying flexible ensures that you remain consistent even when things don't go as planned. 3. During tough times, revisit the reasons you started your journey. Your why is the anchor that keeps you grounded, reminding you of the bigger picture and helping you push through moments of doubt. 4. Long-term consistency isn't a solo endeavor. Lean on your accountability partners, support system, or community when motivation dips. The encouragement and perspective from others can reignite your commitment and help you stay on track. People often underestimate what they can achieve in the long run. When you have a clear vision and commit to consistent action, the possibilities are limitless. The power of long-term vision lies in its ability to keep you focused and motivated, even when progress feels slow. Think of your journey like planting a tree. You don't see the growth every day, but over time, with consistent care, the tree grows strong and tall. The same principle applies to your goals. Trust that your consistent actions, no matter how small, are adding up. The rewards may not be immediate, but they are inevitable if you stay the course. Consistency isn't about quick wins, it's about playing the long game. By embracing seasons of growth and rest, pacing yourself, preventing burnout, and building resilience, you set yourself up for lasting success. In the final chapter, we'll explore how to redefine success and focus on the journey rather than the destination, ensuring that your consistent efforts lead to a fulfilling and meaningful life. Chapter 12. Embracing the journey, redefining success. For most people, success is defined by reaching a specific milestone, getting the promotion, finishing the book, losing the weight. But as you've likely discovered by now, the real value isn't in the destination itself but in the journey that gets you there. When you focus solely on the end result, you miss out on the growth, learning, and experiences that happen along the way. In this final chapter, we'll explore how to redefine success by shifting your focus from achieving a particular goal to fully embracing the process. Success isn't a one-time event, it's a series of moments, decisions, and actions that collectively shape who you become. By the time you reach your destination, you'll realize that the journey is what truly mattered all along. One of the greatest misconceptions about success is that it's a point you arrive at a finish line where everything changes. In reality, success is much more fluid. It's not something you suddenly have, it's something you build, bit by bit, through consistent effort. The satisfaction that comes from achieving a goal is often fleeting. What sticks with you are the habits, discipline, and resilience you've developed through consistent action. These qualities don't disappear once you reach your goal, they continue to benefit you in other areas of your life. This is why it's essential to view success as an ongoing process rather than a final outcome. When you redefine success in this way, you no longer feel pressured to rush toward the finish line. Instead, you can appreciate the small victories, the lessons learned from setbacks, and the personal growth that occurs over time. You realize that every step forward, no matter how small, is a success in itself. If you've ever set a big goal and reached it, you know that the sense of accomplishment is often followed by a "what's next" feeling. That's because when you're entirely focused on the outcome, you're constantly looking for the next mountain to climb, the next challenge to tackle. While ambition and drive are important, they can lead to burnout and dissatisfaction if you're always chasing the next thing without pausing to appreciate where you are. The alternative is to focus on the journey, the day-to-day process that, when done consistently, naturally leads to growth and improvement. When you shift your attention to the journey, you experience more joy, fulfillment, and satisfaction along the way. You learn to find meaning in the small actions, the daily routines, and the incremental progress, rather than placing all your happiness on a future event. Society often pushes a narrow definition of success, wealth, status, achievement. But real success is deeply personal, and it's up to you to define what it looks like. For some, success might be living a balanced, peaceful life. For others, it might be making a positive impact on their community. Whatever it is, your definition of success should align with your values, passions, and purpose. Take time to reflect on what success truly means to you. Is it a specific achievement, or is it living in alignment with your core values? When your definition of success is tied to what genuinely matters to you, staying consistent becomes more meaningful. You're no longer driven by external validation, but by a deep, intrinsic motivation that guides your actions. The most successful people aren't just goal-oriented, they're process-oriented. They find fulfillment in the work itself, in the learning and growth that comes from showing up day after day. When you learn to enjoy the process, you're not just working toward a destination, you're finding joy in the journey itself. Here's a simple truth: if you hate the process, you'll struggle to stay consistent. On the other hand, if you can find ways to make the journey enjoyable, whether it's through celebrating small wins, finding joy in the routine, or connecting with others who share your goals, consistency becomes easier and more sustainable. One strategy for embracing the process is to focus on the present moment. Instead of worrying about how far you still have to go, pay attention to what you're doing right now. What small action can you take today that moves you forward? By breaking down your journey into daily actions and appreciating each step, you transform the experience from a grind into something rewarding and meaningful. Gratitude is a powerful mindset tool that can keep you consistent and focused on the journey. When you regularly practice gratitude, you train your mind to notice the positive aspects of your efforts, no matter how small. This positive focus builds momentum and keeps you motivated, even when progress seems slow. Start a daily gratitude practice where you reflect on the things you're grateful for in your journey. It could be the discipline you've built, the support from loved ones, or the satisfaction of sticking to your habits. By focusing on what's going well, you reinforce the mindset that success is happening all around you, not just at the finish line. In the end, the journey itself is the reward. The person you become, the lessons you learn, and the experiences you gain are far more valuable than the destination you reach. When you redefine success as living fully in the present moment, taking consistent action aligned with your values, and enjoying the process, you set yourself up for a life of fulfillment, not just achievement. The more you immerse yourself in the journey, the more you realize that success is less about where you're going and more about how you're living each day. The destination matters, but it's the journey that makes it meaningful. As you reach the end of this book, remember that consistency is not a one-time effort, it's a way of life. By embracing the process, defining success on your own terms, and staying focused on the present moment, you create a journey that's rich with growth, joy, and fulfillment. Your small steps, taken consistently, will lead to big results, but more importantly, they'll lead to a life well lived. Keep showing up, keep trusting the process, and enjoy the journey. Final words. As you move forward from this book and continue your journey, keep in mind that consistency is your greatest strength. It's not about flawless effort every day, but about showing up, even when it's tough, even when progress feels minimal. Success doesn't happen in a single defining moment, it's built through your daily actions, your small victories, and your unwavering commitment to keep pushing ahead. Celebrate each step forward, no matter how small. Trust in the process, embrace the journey, and let your consistent efforts guide you toward the life you're building. Your journey is uniquely yours. Cherish it, learn from it, and find joy in every stage along the way. Here's to the power of consistent action. Keep moving forward, one step at a time. Take care and be well.